Hi everyone, it's Ileana and I have a quick video to share with you. And the reason why it's so quick is because I thought I was recording and I really wasn't. So this is what I got for you. I am just taking a piece of Canson watercolor paper and I am going to use my Stampin' Up! Ink pads. I rarely use these with my MISTI because they're just so ginormous. But I do love their colors, and I do buy the in colors every time they come out. I'm using Blackberry Bliss, Rich Razzleberry, and Melon Mambo. Now, my Melon Mambo is one of the older pads that still has the felt, and I don't have a re-inker, so what I did was I used the Raspberry Fizz re-inker from Paper Tray Ink. It's virtually the same color. And I'm just taking my water bottle and I'm just misting until I get a lot of water droplets. And so I'm just mushing my watercolor paper in there. And let me just tell you that this makes me very uncomfortable. I don't like my hands to get dirty. So I didn't like doing this at all. I like the way the cards came out, but there was a lot of panic in this card just because of the mess. And I cut out the panic scramble of how I cleaned it up. So it was kind of comical, and but I just do not like to get my hands dirty. I had so much pink ink on my fingers. It looked like I had just murdered somebody just because my hands were so red. Now I'm just dipping my paper back in just to get a little bit of a difference of color. This piece right here turned out to be my favorite piece just because it's what I kind of envisioned in my head, having the different colors. And I'm using my Lawn Fawn rectangular, stitched rectangular dies to trim out my cardstock to do my card panels. And I'm using the Mama Elephant Peace on Earth stamp set, and I really do like this one. It's just, to me, it's just elegant. And I'm going to stamp the front of the cards with the big sentiment. And the cards that I show you in the picture are these two cards. What you don't see posted is the third Ugly Sister card. And I really was kind of disappointed on how it turned out, but I left it in the video simply because there wasn't anything else to show you, and plus just to show you that not all the cards turn out like we picture in our head. And that way you get some idea of what my process is. So I just put the stamp set onto the front of the card and I just picked it up with the lid. I used my embossing buddy to remove any of the moisture and static from the front of my card, and I'm just using Versamark to stamp the front of my card panel. And I'm re-inking it because the watercolor paper has a little bit of texture, and so it just makes me feel better that I have a little bit more Versamark on there. I'm just using an inexpensive brand of silver embossing powder. It's the Recollections brand from Micheal's. I believe it's their generic brand, and I'm just using that on the front of my card. And the part that you don't see is where I put some ink spatter on the front of the card, and you just see it in the final pictures, but I'm not going to show it to you here because I thought I was recording and I wasn't. Now here's the Ugly Sister card. I stamped the front of this card, and there was a mark on the front of the card just below the bright, and I really didn't like the way it turned out. And so what I thought was that I would do what Christina Warner does and take a handful of water droplets in my hand and just drop them on the front of the card. And I ended up with that mess. And it does kind of look like bokeh. I think that's what it's called. But I didn't like the way it looked. So I thought, well, I'll try the other thing that Christina does, and I'll dip the edges of my card panel into Versamark, and then I'll just coat the edges with the same embossing powder. And it just didn't turn out so hot. And so I'm trying to think of, well, what else can I do to this dingy looking card? And I just decided to use a Tim Holtz stencil with some snowflakes on it to maybe try to save it. And see, look at all that pink on my fingertips. I don't know what my husband thought when he saw my hands, but anyways, I'm using some Color Box white pigment ink with the stencil, and I'm just going to add 3 little snowflakes because everything is good in 3s. And I don't even bother putting this card on the front of a panel. I did learn a lot from it. I learned that I don't like grungy. I don't like to get my hands dirty, which I already knew. But anyways, this is what I got from it. And I just thought I'd share it. But I didn't do anything else after this just because it was so terrible. So I'll just leave you with some pictures of the other 2 cards that I really enjoyed. And I thought they turned out beautiful. And I did do this from a sketch that I created, and so I'll probably make other cards with the sketch just because it's a simple sketch. And thanks so much for watching, and sorry I missed a lot of the video, but here are the final pictures. Be sure you give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.